Gary Smith, welcome back to bluesharmonica.com.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave. Glad to be back here. It's been a couple of weeks, different things going on, but the back of my mind, I've been trying to think about interesting things to mention to our devoted audience.
Cool. And what's that?
Oh, oops. How to drop your harmonica. No. I don't know if everybody in the world knows, but I've been recovering at home from a car wreck for last year, so that gives you plenty of time to get so bored that you actually practice. But I try and think of little things. I try and notice things about my playing. Maybe do a little recording of something, and just play it back and listen to it. And just little things that pop into mind, that I thought would be fun to bring up here. One of them is kind of if I were giving a lesson, I would call it how to think on your feet. And what I mean is, if you find yourself in a position of having to be pretty extemporaneous with what you're doing. In other words, you don't have much clue other than the key of the song and the kind of the groove that it is. So what are you going to do with it? So thinking on your feet, the challenge is go, Gary. And when it's time to go, you got to go somewhere. So I use different mental cues to try and know where to start my solo, how it's going to go, kind of So, if you're just improvising and maybe you're the second soloist and the last guy has done a big crescendo and, had a thrilling final note to his thing, one thing you could do to keep the continuity going is to whatever he's ending up on, you kind of use that as the impetus of what you're going to do. Or even like if he's on a sustaining note, if you can find that, that'd be maybe a good place to start when the changes roll around after the turnaround. So depending where you start, just depending how you go. So I try and think of an exercise, where I just put the harp to my mouth, and whatever the first note is, that inspires me to take it which way I'm going to go.
Okay.
So you da 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 ba da. So that's the first note. Just kind of playing around the area,
Being your theme.
Yeah.
For that chorus.
Yeah. And so once the ball's rolling, hopefully in your mental acumen, it's gonna stimulate you to play on in a certain direction.
Uh-huh.
So that was my little fun thing to do, and maybe in a little while we can do it.
Let's do it.
And I can do one, and then I'll be the guitar player, and then you'll be the harp player, and you take off from there, and then we'll reverse roles,
Okay, so we'll take like 12 each. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Do you want to play at the jam track?
Sure.
Okay, so what harp would you like to use?
Ooh, I always like the G harp.
Okay.
A harp is fine.
I think G is fine. And we'll grab a jam track in the key of D then. Let's see what comes up. This is the one that comes up. Let's listen to it.
Good.
Okay, so you said you're going to start as the guitarist?
Yeah, I'll be the first soloist, and then wherever I kind of end up, then you take it off from there, and then you do it, and I'll try to pick up off of you after you're done.
And am I going to latch onto a pitch or a rhythm or?
That's the thing. You have all those things at your disposal. You can easily just start on the same note,
Okay.
Or you could start with the same rhythm, or if the guy's fanning his thing, you can just take a cue from what the last guy's doing.
Okay, so the last couple bars will influence my first couple of bars, and that becomes my theme.
Right.
I think I got you. Mr. Guitarist, your solo.
Cool.
Yeah, I
So-
totally got what you're saying.
Yeah, it's better than being scared of what to play. You know, just take a cue. You know, listen to the guy's solo, and you don't have to take the cue from the very last note. You can take it from kind of the theme of what you're playing. You know.
Yeah, I noticed a couple times you gave me. There was that, and then you went to a. And I was thinking, which one am I going to grab? Yeah, could have been that, or ended up going for that.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
Well, that's the idea. That's the game, and we could do it rather than 12 bars apiece. We could do it. We could break up the progression. You know, try it one time where I play the 1, you play the 4, I play the 5, you
Okay.
play the 1, I play the 4.
What we commonly call trading fours.
Right.
For the students, one of the things about trading 4 bars is it allows us to play in different parts of the progression. So if Gary takes the 1 for 4 bars, then I get the 4 and the 1 for 4 bars. Then Gary gets the 5-4-1 turnaround. And then the role reverses. I get the 1 for 4 bars, then Gary gets the 4 and the 1. Now after 2 choruses, it'll come back around, but by then it's not going to be so,
Right.
it won't sound so repetitive. Where if we trade 2s, 1, 1, 4, 1, 5, 4, 1, 1, 1, 5, 4, 1, 5, 4, 1. We always play in the same spot of the 12-bar
Right.
blues.
Right.
I didn't realize it until we said, let's trade 2s. And we're on the bandstand. I realized, we're playing the same section of the 12-bar blues over and over.
Right. Yeah, it's cool though that it turns at the end of the progression, and then you get to play the other side.
Yeah, when we're trading 4s.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So before we jump to that, I want to throw a little intermediary step, if you don't mind.
Sure.
One of the fun things to do when playing with another musician is to, instead of going and leaving space, and then you get to start your solo, which might be a completely different idea unless you use my last lick as your first lick, it's kind of fun to hand off the solo and then start leading somewhere, and then you have to go where I was going. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Right.
now instead of playing that lick though, you go, then it might go as if you were the guy playing the lick leading
Right.
someone,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. If we were playing the same solo, if
Can
we
we-
were the same brain.
Yeah, same brain.
Yeah.
Can
okay.
we try the same
Yeah.
brain
Yeah.
game?
Let's try
brain
that.
game?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to start this one, and I'm going to play something where it should be, hopefully, obvious where the solo should go.
Okay.
I'm going to steal a little Walter idea. Thunderbird.
Yeah.
Cool. That was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably more fun with two harmonica players than it would be with a guitar player and a harmonica player, because we know where, you know.
Yeah, there's a common language,
Right,
especially
right.
when this guy's copied almost all of the licks you've ever played.
Yeah.
This brings another thing in mind. I'm glad we're doing this. One of the common problems of improvisers is that they play all the way up to the very end. And of course, really new improvisers, they don't signal that they're done with their solo, right? So they're going. So let me give an example of what not to do for the student. You don't have to play right now, but just want to kind of give an idea. It's me playing too long and not giving the next soloist any warning.
Right.
I'll play 12 bars to get there.
Okay. Yeah.
I was only like one beat or two beats encroaching into your solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
No warning, no fun.
well, you know, I have that problem a lot with guitar players, because, you know, they get in the, what's the right word, in the bliss of it all, you know, with their eyes closed and their heads back, and I'm looking, and it's coming around. You've been playing a long time, where you're going to end, and sometimes these guys just aren't conscious of endings the way we are, or solo endings, you know. So yeah, I do have that problem quite a bit. And you know what's probably the best thing to do? Nothing. Probably just leave it. Maybe, how about a round for this guy?
Yeah. Thanks for coming out tonight. Talk a little bit.
Yeah, do something other than try and start at an awkward place, you know. Just let a big, you know, 4-bar rest happen, and then point to the guy and people will clap, or some other
That's smart.
some other ruse.
So the issue, if it's not clear to you already out there in harmonica land, is that most of your solos, if you practiced a solo, starts from the one chord and probably has a pickup leading to the one chord. So if you have a soloist who's playing all the way up to beat 48 of the 12-bar blues, then and especially if they're not giving any body language like you're talking about, you're waiting, then that means you got to start your solo a couple beats after beat 1 of the 12-bar blues. And for our newbies out there, that's enough just to completely mess you up. What I like to do, and this is kind of where I'm leading to, is that if I'm soloing 1 chorus, 2 choruses, 3 choruses, whatever, and I'm on the bandstand playing, and I'm going to hand it back to the vocalist or the guitarist or harmonica player, is I don't play a turnaround. And what that simply does is it gives the next soloist plenty of time to play a pickup leading into their solo.
And it also gives your audience a chance to kind of, when there's all of a sudden no you, then it gives them a chance to kind of mentally absorb what they just heard, you know.
Good point. It's like leaving space between what you say.
Yeah.
I have my...
It'll wake them up if you don't play right away. People...
What's wrong? What happened to the harp player?
Yeah.
So let's do this. Let's trade 12s, but we'll make a point not to play the turnaround. We'll go, I'll do... One, 2, 3, 4. So instead of me going da 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 da, that gives you the chance to go da da do da 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 do da, my solo.
Yeah.
So let's try that. We're going to purposely leave the turnaround, the last 2 bars, not the 5/4, but the last 2 bars, so that when I hand it to Gary, Gary can play this grandiose pickup to his solo.
If I can think of one.
We'll play this jam track one more time before we get sick of it.
Okay.
All right, I'll take the first 12. The sparse solo. Now, to me, that was really musical.
Yeah, it's entertaining because you can kind of follow the melodic line. Some guitar players shred so much, or play so fast that sometimes it's just kind of like a blur of notes. But with the simplistic bitchin' tone, single note, stuff, it's to me it's more entertaining. If I'm sitting there listening to a harp player, I'd rather hear something kind of like that, than some crazy stuff. I'm not really into the crazy stuff that much.
Yeah.
It used to be.
I like to think of it too as like we all have conversations with people. Me, I work with 40 plus students on a regular basis as part of my teaching load. And I have some students that it's very easy, like you and I, it's very easy to communicate with each other. Whereas some students, they're always cutting off your last word, or you're trying to say something and you try to, oh, I'm sorry, were you done? It's just always this awkward feeling. And it feels like to me that if we play too far into that turnaround area, that you have that higher probability of not giving the next guy a little bit of space to be able to he's done. I'm going to play a little pickup. Here comes my solo. That's just, to me, that's that smooth conversation.
Yeah. It reminded me of a Junior Wells Buddy Guy video where Buddy Guy's playing, and Junior decides he's in control of when Buddy stops. So he lets him play up to the 5, but when it comes down to the turnaround, he's standing next to him, and he gets this look on his face, and he grabs Buddy Guy's neck of his guitar and goes, "You stop there." Wow. It's you can see it on the net. I don't remember where it was posted, but it's really funny. It's like Buddy and Junior in Europe somewhere in the 70s, and Junior's just got this attitude, and he makes his face like I own you, dude. He just grabs his neck. Well, who would have the nerve to grab Buddy Guy's neck at the crescendo of his solo? Me, I own you.
That must have made for an interesting conversation after the show.
I think they do it as part of the show. I think that's part of the act where, Junior asserts himself because Junior, if you know your blues history, Junior's rise to fame preceded Buddy's by a little bit. So Buddy was the new guy, or the young guy, and Junior was the guy who hung around with Muddy and Walter and all that. And so I think even though maybe Buddy Guy got a little better, more famous, more well-known in the 70s than Junior was the real blues star to me in that duo. If you ever saw him, when the stuff that Junior would play with Buddy was, compared to his own band, it was like night and day. It sounded, what I'm thinking of the times that I saw them together, it sounded like Hoodoo Man Blues, rather than this big show with horns and everything that they both did later. And now Junior's gone, and it's just us left to carry on, as George Smith would say.
Shall we do our 4-bar trading?
Yes, let's get back to that idea and see where that takes us.
So we got 2 groove options. We've got Last Night Groove, or we've got a Flat Tire, which will probably be the same sounding as what we just did.
Yeah, that sounds too much like
Last Night.
I'd like to hear a whole record of just that. Probably we'd be the only guys that would like it. But to me, that's the fun way to play. Just thinking and playing off another harp player. Gives. Oh yeah, I wouldn't have thought of going that way.
Yeah.
You know.
One of the things that I've always enjoyed about playing with Gary or other fine harp players is exactly that. They feed you ideas.
Right.
It's so much easier. I mean, I can lead my own song and I got my own ideas and everything, but when you're playing with somebody else, yeah, they're feeding. I think really my playing takes a couple notches forward, up.
Definitely, because when I'm following you, I feel like I'm following. I better be as on top of my game as you are.
Funny, I was thinking the same thing about when I'm following you.
Because we both know a head full of licks. It's whichever one's going to come out is that's Jack in the Box. Whoop, this one pops up.
How about we have a little fun with this and go 12, 12, threes. Then we'll move to twos, then the ones, see if we can make it work.
Now threes, how do you play threes?
I guess we should go to twos.
Okay.
Maybe 4, 2,
Okay.
1. Keep it even numbers.
Okay, yeah.
Good idea. So, yeah, here we go. You get the first 12.
Okay.
Trading twos. Trade ones.
Cool.
Worked out to be just the right length.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
I kind of like the trading ones with the slow blues.
Yeah.
I had my consistent line, and then you got to play your
Yeah.
varying lines in between.
Yeah, yeah. That was cool.
What's next, Mr. Smith?
Well, we could try the same thing with, trading the ones with on a different groove, just to see what more of a up-tempo thing would be like.
Okay.
We could even go back to the first groove or whatever. If you have another one that's similarly tempoed.
Okay, I do. You take the first one now. That was pretty good. We traded 2 beats.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was pretty happening.
Yeah, let's do that again.
Oh man, that was tough. So we're trading not 2 bars, or not even 1 bar, but 2 beats.
Right.
That's a first. I've never done that before. I gotta say, we definitely have this one mind thing happening.
So that's too bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to brainwash you.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. I'll see if we can make that happen again. You start it. That's got to be a lot quicker.
Yeah.
That's the tough part. You got to be like, no taking lips off the harmonica. Oh, he was going off the deep end, licking like.
That's what happens here.
That first chorus was good though.
Yeah, it's a challenge. It really is to play a little good lick, So that's cool.
Neat.
It'd be neat to set up a jam track where, where you do what we're doing now -1.
Yeah.
For the guys to
Trying to get rid of me.
No, actually, you're getting rid of me. But yeah, that's a very good exercise,
It's very good because you got to keep track of where you are in the form and what beat you're on, huh?
Right. Very cool.
Yeah, I don't think we can go any faster than 2 beats.
Nah.
1 beat would be.
Yeah, we could try it, but it would sound pretty goofy, I think.
I think it'll sound pretty goofy.